Hello and welcome back to the channel with me, the Orienteering Kid, where today we're going out of this world for the 5th round in the B category in TORUS Season 3. Yes, we're here to have a look at the 5th event in the B category of this season of the TORUS Cup, a month-long series organised by course setters from around the world and can be found here on the Tempo Simulator, the link to which can be found in the description of this video. Now, this event happened last Tuesday, and those of you that would have seen the video from the A category will know that this event was planned by both Ramo and Jakek, and they both advised the other one stations, and they produced a course for both the A and the B category. So we are going to have a look at the B event today. We are going into different fantasy lands for different stations in each area, and if it's anything like the A course, it's going to be absolutely amazing, as I did keep saying throughout the whole of that video. So I don't think we need to do any more introduction. We'll just jump straight into it now, going into the B section of the season 3 and going into event 5, which today, like last time, is a 1 to 4,000 map with 2 meter contours and 8 stations with a 30-second penalty for every wrong answer, and the zero tolerance is 4 meters, no exceptions. It's a typical terrain for high fantasy adventures with surprises in it, and both urban and wilderness areas Hixant Draconis, meaning here be dragons, and we know from last time there definitely were. We have ladders mapped as stairs, and just a reminder that the black crosses are the market stalls or the giant stone throne, and the black circle is a harbour machine or a sundial. The viewing point is sometimes in the air or whatever happens to be air in this particular place, and the flags are sometimes oversized for visibility reasons. So that's all the same information as last time. We are going to go through and compete in the stations, but inevitably I will be recognising some of the photos, so be able to do them pretty quickly. I'm just expecting some of the tasks to be different. As always, my answers will be appearing in the top right hand corner of the screen, so you can see exactly what I'm putting, correct or wrong with the black and red letters respectively at the moment that I do. And yeah, with that, let's have a go at this 5th event in the B category of TORUS Season 3 as we load, and we're going to start slowly as that's what you get in the normal competition, and we're going into station 1. Okay, same photos as last time, it's different kite locations. They're all right in the foreground, and top of the stairs is definitely Foxtrot, and there's nothing there, with that bit of paved area being Delta, and that top of stairs is Alpha, and there's nothing on those stairs. So for those of you that did the A category, you will have recognised that same photo for station 1, but the kites are in slightly different places, so I had to recount the kites, especially since for the first task there we wanted the top of the stairs, and in the previous event that was Echo, but that was now Foxtrot. So just making sure we noticed that was correct, and then we went to the corner of the pier, but we know that Bravo was floating above the water, so it wasn't on the correct one, and it was definitely a 0. The other 3 tasks were unique though, going to the correct corner of the paved area being the most northwestern one, and that was definitely Delta, on the pier right in front of us, and then the top of the stairs where Alpha was, before going to the staircase near Echo, but Echo wasn't on the staircase, it was to the left of it, so that was definitely a 0 to finish off the station. And that was quite a nice first station actually. It was interesting to see different uses of the same area, but I thought it was very good, and now we kind of know what to be expecting with these stations as we go into station 2. Okay, it's the same thing as the pit, but like last time, but Foxtrot's over by the tent this time, to which that is the wrong canopy, and that one is going to be Bravo with the wrong tree back there. That is Delta at the foot of that stairs, and at the end of that stairs is Alpha. And noticing that Foxtrot had moved was definitely useful for the first task, because it was on a tent, but it was definitely the wrong tent, as the tent that we wanted, or canopy as it was on the map, was to the right of the one that Foxtrot was on. And then the next 3 tasks were the same as some of the previous ones, going to Bravo at the foot of the stairs, the tree up by Charlie, but Charlie was on a different tree, so that one was a 0, and then back to Delta on the end of the staircase at the bottom, before we finished on with Alpha on the ladder on the left hand side, which I thought was quite a nice ending for a B station. And yeah, that was quite a nice station again. I think having Foxtrot on the canopy was a much easier task than what we had in the A, which I did quite like. And so that was again another good station, and we will just move straight on now to station 3. Okay, we've got a different view of the cogs here. We don't have the crags, we just have the canopies. That building south side is going to be Charlie, with the building there, I feel like that is a 0, yeah, that's definitely a 0, and that's the wrong canopy as well, with Bravo being over there, and top of the stairs is nothing there as well. and I'm pretty sure I put 3 zeros in that station, which does normally seem a bit too much for a B course, but 2 of the 3 of them were definitely very clear, so I was happy with that one. It was just the second task being a 0 as well, which took a bit more time being on the other pillar, and that's why my time was a bit longer than some of the other stations, but I think it was clear in the end that it was on the wrong pillar, so that was a nice 0. It was a different view of the area, but I did really like it. Making use of the cog canopies as well, I thought it was a really nice station. And yeah, I haven't really got much more to say on that as we go into station 4. Okay, this is the tree canopy 1, so we know where all the kites are. Presumably we're going to start there. Okay, that's Bravo, and then Echo, and then Alpha, and then Charlie, and a 0 to finish off. And yeah, that was exactly the same station as the A, so I knew how to do that straight away and did it in 4 seconds. To which I'm not really going to talk about any of that at all, because you can just go back and look at that video from the A to see that station. But I do think that was a good station for a B category as well. When we did it in the A course, I did think that was quite easy and probably could have been the same. But yeah, we are just crossing the halfway point of the day now, and we go into station 5. Okay, it's quite a nice view of the Stonehenge here, but it's an upward view. Inside the re-entrant has got to be Delta, with that pillar being Charlie. That pillar round there, I feel like is not the right pillar to be Alpha. Between those two trees, it's not between those. And that canopy is going to be Bravo. So that was a very good 5th station. It was the same area that we had for station 5 in the A category, but I think that was definitely a much clearer area to use, as we could see all the rocks from a very aerial view, and the re-entrance going down with Delta and Echo, which we started on for the first task, but I'm pretty sure that was Delta before we went out to the Charlie rock pillar, and then the rock pillar next to Alpha, but not the Alpha pillar, so that was a 0, as well as the 4th task, which was between the wrong 2 trees. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of those caught you out, as that did take a lot of thinking before coming to the Bravo canopy for the 5th task, and that was quite a nice final task to finish on. But yeah, I thought that was another good station again. These are still really enjoyable, even though I do know the areas already. But yeah, we'll just move straight on now to station 6. Okay, this is exactly the same station as the other one, although Charlie's actually on the re-entrant, so that is Delta, and that is Alpha, and that re-entrant is now Charlie with nothing on there and Echo to finish off. So that station had exactly the same tasks as in station 6 in the A course. However, I had just noticed very quickly that Charlie was actually in the re-entrant for the 3rd task rather than not being the re-entrant for the 3rd task like on the A one. So that was quite a cheeky move, and if I hadn't quite noticed that, I would have got that one wrong. But I did think that was quite a hard 0, and so moving Charlie to be in the right place was quite nice, definitely for a B course. But yeah, there isn't really any much more to talk about with that one, and so we will just move now on to station 7. Okay, it's a load of floating islands, but we're in the different island area now. I'm presuming that's the first set in front of us. Yeah, that's got to be the first set in front of us. So there's nothing on that island, surprisingly, but Delta's on that one, Alpha's on that one. I think that's the wrong one again. Just checking that. Yeah, there's nothing on that one. And then Charlie to finish off. So that 7th station was a different view of the 7th station we had in the A category, and I thought that was a slightly easier view, although that station was still very hard. And there was one task in particular which I was thinking about, which was the 4th one, checking whether it was Foxtrot or not, but I'm pretty sure it was a 0 as I wanted it further to the right. But that was a lot simpler than in the A1, I think, as all the kites were kind of on islands next to each other, and so if you were counting them in that small area you would have done quite well. And yeah, that station was very nice, even opening with a 0 didn't really affect its difficulty too much, and so we will just move now on to the final station of the day, which is station 8. Okay, it's exactly the same photo as in the A category with the dragon, and that one is Delta, that one over there is Alpha, that one back there is Echo with Bravo there, and finish off with Charlie with a no 0 station to finish off the day. And with a time of 102 seconds, that wasn't too bad at all, especially since I made no errors, but definitely having the pre-knowledge from the A category made it a lot easier. So let's go through and talk through some of the stations now, just we won't do the tasks which were the same for the A category as well, but we'll go through and see that for this first station, I'm going to have to move it along quite a bit. What we had to start with was the harbour, in spotting the kites, we can see that Foxtrot is on the top of the stairs there, and we have Charlie and Delta on the middle pier in front of us, with Alpha on the stairs on the other pier to the left hand side of the harbour equipment, which is the black circle, and also Echo is on top of a ladder which has been mapped to some stairs. So when the photo came, and what we wanted here was the top of the stairs, and it's the top of the main stairs on the wall at the back. That was quite a nice Foxtrot to start off the station, as that was really the key anchor here, and we knew we were definitely in the right place, so that was a nice Foxtrot to start. And then for the second task, we moved to this corner of the paved area, wanting the northern bit of paved area in the circle and the northeastern inside corner. And looking out there, Bravo is the only plausible candidate here, being on a northeast inside corner, but we did say in the A video that the patch of paved area which Bravo is on is being held up by the crane, and so isn't mapped as it isn't on the ground, and that was a very clear 0 for the second task. Before, with the third task, we came forward and we wanted the northwestern bit of paved area and the southeastern inside corner. So we look forward to the middle pier, and we can see that Charlie and Delta are both on southeastern inside corners, but Delta is on the northwestern patch of paved area. So that was definitely Delta for the third task, but it was a choice between Charlie and Delta. Before we then moved to the fourth task, and we wanted the top of the stairs, which is to the left of the harbour equipment, and we said that Alpha is on the top of the stairs there, so that was clearly Alpha for the fourth task. Before we then wanted the northwestern staircase, and that's all the control description says, so we just wanted it on the staircase. So we look at the only kite we haven't used so far, which is Echo, and we can see that Echo is on a ladder which has been mapped to some stairs. However, it is at the end of the pier that we had for the second task, which is there, and so we follow that along and see that Echo is actually on this staircase here, which isn't the correct staircase, as we want the one to the right hand side, which is that one there, and this is a 0 to finish off the station. And I do think that was quite a nice station actually. It was an easier version of the station we had in the A course, but I do think it was good and still had its technical aspects, so I think if you did manage to get that station fully correct, very well done. And then moving on to station 2, we had this pit here, and this is where most of the kites were before, in the A category, with the 4 in the pit and Charlie on the tree. However, Foxtrot has moved from being over here to all the way at the canopy, and this was the key task difference in this station, as the first task came up and we wanted the inside corner of the canopy. But looking at the shapes, we can see the building next to Charlie, which is there, and then we have the canopy which Foxtrot is on, which is this canopy here, and so the canopy we actually want is hiding behind the tree, and you can just see it poking out there. So to me that was a clear 0 for the first task. Well done if you did manage to get that one right. Before, for the next 3 tasks, we moved through and we have Bravo at the end of the stairs like in the previous event, as well as Charlie on the wrong tree for a 0, and also Delta on the end of the stairs. Before, the only other tasks difference in this station was this final one, where we came to the southern end of the northwestern staircase in the circle, and it's coming up from where we said Bravo was from the second task. So we look up from where Bravo was and we go up to Alpha, which is definitely on the southern end of that staircase, and that was a nice Alpha to end off the station. And I do think that was a really good second station. The hardest task in the station for the A category was the Foxtrot task, and so moving Foxtrot to a clearer place by the canopy made it a lot easier. So well done if you did manage to get that station fully correct. Before, we moved on to station 3, and we had a completely different angle of the station we had in the A category, so this is one we will talk through completely. And what I saw here to start with was the 3 canopies of the cogs, which I thought was quite a nice anchor, and then the building temple area. So when the map came up and we saw the 3 canopies here, we knew we must be looking at this bit, and we go up to this paved area of the temple. We see the black circle, so that must be the sundial, and we're going to the right hand side of the sundial, and we want the southern side of this building, to which we look up and we can see there is a building there, and with north going to the right, the southern side is to the left, and that's definitely where Charlie is for the first task. So that was a nice Charlie to start off the station. The second task here I did think was the hardest though, was the one I thought about the most, and here we want the southern side of a pillar, to which we look to the left hand side and see that Alpha is on a pillar, but it isn't actually on the right pillar, because if you look, Alpha is on some bare rock, and looking here, the pillar we want is on the boundary of the bare rock and the open land. So Alpha is actually on the pillar further west, which is this pillar here, and the pillar we actually want is hiding behind this small building just coming out the top of it. So that was clearly a 0 for the second task. Well done if you did manage to spot that. Before, we then came forward and we wanted the canopy in the circle, but it's the furthest to the right, or the closest one to us, and we look and see that Foxtrot is in the middle one, not the furthest to the right, which is this one, so that was a nice 0 for the third task. Before, we then went up to the back of the map and we wanted the northeastern wall and the southwestern outside corner, and looking out to where we said Charlie was on the building for the first task, we're going to the corner to the left of it, which is definitely where Bravo is for the fourth task, so I did like Bravo there. Before, we finally came forward and we wanted the top of the stairs, and this is right in the middle of the stairs, so we look at where Delta is, and Delta is at the top of the stairs, but it's not in the middle, as it's a long way to the right hand side, and he's probably about there on the edge of the circle. We actually want it in the middle, which is hiding behind this pillar of the cog. So that was a nice 0 to finish off the station. And again, I think even though there were 3 zeros in this station, I didn't think it was too hard, as 2 of the 3 of them were definitely clear, and the other one being the second task we did just have to think about for a small bit, but we got there in the end. So that was a nice station 3, and then we moved on to station 4, which was exactly the same as station 4 in the other day, so we don't really need to talk about that, as it went Bravo and then forward to Echo and then Alpha, Charlie, and then 0 out the edge of the photo. So well done if you did manage to get that one right. Before we then went on to station 5, and this was a completely different angle of the station that we had for the 5th station in the A category. And so we can see here there is a throne, which is the black cross on the paved area, and there's a load of rock pillars surrounding it, and then there does seem to be the entrance here with the walls coming down, and Delta and Echo are in that, going down the re-entrant. So when the map comes up and we see we want in the middle of this re-entrant, we know it's going to be Delta or Echo, but which one is it going to be? Well, we want it quite close to the door, and so I think Echo's definitely too far away and it must be Delta. So to me that was a nice Delta to start off the station, before we then went back to the first rock pillar round after the path comes through to the staircase. So we can look at the throne and the staircase and see that the path does come here. We're going just to the left hand side of it, and Charlie does seem to be on that first pillar we can see. So I was pretty confident that was Charlie for the second task. And then for the third one we came forward and we wanted this rock pillar, wanting the northeastern side of it. So we are coming to the left hand side of the throne, and it's either going to be Alpha or 0, but the answer is 0 because I looked here and saw the distinctive wall on the map, which is the only distinctive thing we have here, being this wall here. So this has to be the wall, and then we go to the next pillar along, which is this one, and then the next one again, which is the one that Alpha's on. But we actually want the pillar further back from it, which is the third one along, and that one there. So that was quite a nice 0 for the third task, and well done if you did manage to get that one right. I think that was possibly the hardest task in this station, and the one I thought about the most actually, before we then came to the fourth task and we wanted between 2 trees. So we're going right to the right hand side, so this is going to be Foxtrot or nothing, but looking here, Foxtrot's between the closest 2 trees to us, which must be these 2 trees here, putting Foxtrot there, not the 2 trees we want it to be between, as I want it to be a bit further back. And that was a nice 0 for the fourth task, before finally we came to the canopy, and it's the middle canopy in the circle, as there are 3, and it's going to be just the left hand side of this corner of the wall. So we look at the corner of the wall and we go to the left, and Bravo is nicely underneath that canopy to finish off the station with a Bravo. And that was a good 5th station. I thought this angle was a lot easier than the A category, so I did really like it, and yeah, I thought it was still really good. Before we moved into station 6, and this was exactly the same as the 6th station in the A category, apart from one key difference. As we moved to the third task, we had this task in the A, but here Charlie was actually moved, so it was on the sand instead of where it is now, which puts Charlie for this station actually in the re-entry we want, and so the third task was Charlie. So well done if you did manage to notice that, but the rest of the tasks were the same there. So again, well done if you did manage to get them right, going with 0 and then Echo to finish off. So yeah, that was good. And then we moved to station 7, which was a different angle from the 7th station in the A category again, but this was probably a much easier angle, as we can see that the 6 kites are all on floating islands in front of us, and there are some key shapes, as we're not using the whole map, we're just using the small islands close to us, to which I did notice that Delta was on a really small one, and that was the key thing here, with a smallish one next to it as well with Echo. And we look forward and we can see that the smallest one near us is going to be this one here with Delta, and the one next to it is going to be Echo. So the island we want is going back from Echo, and there is nothing on that island, so that was a nice 0 to open up this station. Well done if you did manage to notice that. And then we actually moved forward to the small island, which I did spot with Delta on to start with, so I was pretty quick in going Delta there, and then even quicker going to the left hand side and just moving out to see that Alpha is on the island for this third task. So I was happy with Alpha there. The fourth task did take me a lot longer though, trying to spot whether this one was Foxtrot or 0, as we have gone to the right of Echo, but I think moving from Echo and the 0 for the first task, Foxtrot is going to be on this island here at the centre of the circle, not the one we actually want, as that is out there. So eventually I was happy to put 0 for this fourth task, before we then came forward and we wanted just back from the small Delta island we said before, which must be the Charlie island there. And that rounded off this other very interesting view of this station, and I did think it was still very good, a bit easier than the A version, as the A one did use the whole spiral rather than just this small section of it, but I didn't think this one was much easier, so if you did manage to get it right, very well done. Before we then moved to the final station, and here we had exactly the same view as with the A category, but we had some slightly different ordering of tasks. So we did spot the dragon's head, and the dragon's head is coming into the lava pool. We're going just up from that pillar, which does put us as Delta to start off the station, before then moving to the small boulder to the left of the dragon's wings, which must be the small boulder here of Alpha, although I would have potentially call that a tree stump. I'm not going to question it though, I'm going to stick with it as a boulder. And then we went out to the right hand side, and we had to kind of come from the delta pillar here as we went to the elongated pillar as this one, back to the one with no kites on there, and then out to Echo, which is the one we want. And so that was Echo for the third task. Before we then went back to the left hand side and looking where the dragon's wings are again, we go back to the lava pool and then the rock pillar, which does have Bravo on for the fourth task. And then finally we finished off this station the same way we finished on the A category, going back to the lava pool and the rock pillar for Charlie to finish off this day. And I did think it was a B course, it was a lot easier, but it was still a very enjoyable day. And I think whichever course I would have competed on Tuesday, I would have really enjoyed it, as the areas were phenomenal. And I'm thanking Raymo and Yakek again for putting this all together. I still enjoyed that a lot, even if I already knew what some of the stations were. But with 102 seconds, we'll go compare what position I would have come in. However, we know that I knew most of it already, and I would have come first by a long way. But again, that was expected. It is very well done to Julie for winning this event though. She was just under 30 seconds quicker than Judith, who was then 13 seconds quicker than O did. So very well done to them. In terms of where Julie did win the event though, it was probably in station 3 where she won the station, and then also coming through, we can see that she did very well in the final station. So well done for doing that. The most interesting thing for the B course percentages here was here in station 5, where we had the lowest percentage of the day being the third task, with 214 going with Alpha and 130 realising was a 0. This is the one from the Stonehenge station with all the rock pillars, and I did think it was quite hard. It was the one I spent the longest time on in this station, and it really required spotting the wall, which we did point out afterwards. So well done if you were in the 37% that did manage to get that one right. However, there was only really one other percentage in the whole day which was fairly low, and so I think really this shows you guys didn't struggle at all with this day. You all seem to do very well, and so I think that's a sign of a very good B course, so well done for doing that. And so as this was Tuesday's event and I'm recording it on Saturday, we're not going to go and have a look at the results, as they will include Thursday's event as well. We'll do that at the end of the next video, but it is again a very big thank you to Yakek and Raymo for putting this on. It does seem that everyone really enjoyed it and definitely found it very fun, so please do this again in the future. I think we would all enjoy another event like this. But with that, that's going to be the end of today's video. Thank you again for watching. If you'd like to like the video, as always, if you enjoyed it, and also be subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, making sure you click the bell next to the subscribe button and select all so you're notified whenever I release a video. And also, as always, be remembering to share these videos. We know this event was amazing, and as a B course I think it was easy enough for people to get into and also really enjoyable. So if you do know any people that haven't competed already and you think they'd enjoy it, get them on the simulator and having a go at this event. And as always, be commenting down below any extra bits you think I missed from this video, any small bits of analysis you think I should add, and any small little sections you think I could add as well. And I will join you again later for the 6th event in the B category of TORUS Season 3.